Hello, everybody. What's going on? Hope you're having a good evening so far. I think I need to do this. There we go. I'll go ahead and full screen this or not. There we go. Um, all right. Am I gonna do God of War DLC? I didn't even know there was a God of War DLC, honestly. Uh, by the way, what's up, Ox? How you doing? All right, well, let's just start things off with a little Holo No Suika. Then three new fights. Oh, okay. Um hmm. Ugh. Okay, hold on. That. Then we're gonna do that. Okay, then we do that. So we're just gonna do this for a little bit, I think, and then we'll switch to Chaos Head. Alright, we already got ourselves a bay here. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. That need this Mokoko to keep rolling to the left here. Go. Go. Oh, come on. Are you fucking serious? Shit. Okay. Fucking piece of shit. We'll just do this. Whoop. Okay. That works. Oh, fuck. I shouldn't have done that. Damn it. I fucked that up. Do that. Okay. Wait. Ah, there we go. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's right. I forgot I turned the oh crap, I can't do anything about it now, but I turned the music off, so that's why there's no music playing. Come on, man. Okay. Ame rolling. All right. And then we'll go like this. All right, now we got a Fuwawa. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do what I want here. And I did finish, yeah, I figured that was gonna happen. I did finish Outer Wilds yesterday, so. Okay, that. Boom, and then we'll do this. Oh, fuck. Ah, damn it. That's what happens when I don't fucking pay any attention. Do this. Boop, boop, boop. All right, there we go. Okay. Oh, I just did it again. God damn, why do I keep doing that? Focus. Come on, man. Focus. Okay. Ugh, okay. Uh, hmm. Okay, I'll just stick this here and then we'll go like that. Okay, now we got two ames. I'll wait for them to combine. There we go. And now we'll drop the ollie here. Okay. And now I got a Mori Calliope. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Let's do that. Okay. Then we'll do this. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oop. Fuck. All right, that Gura needs to roll away from the bay, please. Roll, keep going. Am I going to be able to fit it in between here? Gura, I need you to go to the left. Okay, fuck. I'll just... Yeah, I figured that was going to fucking happen. God damn it. Okay. Uh... Well, I don't know. This motherfucking Anya right here totally fucked me up. God damn it. Mm. Okay. Okay, enough with the fucking Guras, please. God damn, what the fuck? Kirby. That. Jeez. Okay, I don't understand how, like, this isn't combining. What the fuck? Well, that sure freed up a lot of room. All right. We'll go like this. Mm. Yeah. Damn. Man, that's really disappointing with that good start that I had to that game. Damn. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and switch over to uh, Chaos Head here. Mm. Alright, so there wasn't. I only played this for like maybe 10 minutes yesterday, so we started chapter 4, and it was that purple haired girl, uh, Senna. She was just like standing with her back to column. I think she was like at the train station or something. Um, and she was just watching people. Um, and I think that was about it. So, Seraton was calling me. Yesterday's Blood Tune was such a great episode. Seiretan had a lot of cool scenes, and there was also a sexy kiss. The animation quality was top notch, too.
起きたらおはようのキスしてあげるからさ。って私何言ってんだろ。バカバカ今の忘れて。
Seiretan was calling me, and being super moe about it, too. I had no choice but to get up. I ripped off the covers and got off the sofa with a moan.
ちょっといつまで寝てるんさ。このボケナス。こうなったら私のサムライコンデンサでぶん殴って起こし。
When I hit the switch on the alarm, Seiretan's voice abruptly stopped.
おはよう、セイラ。
My Seira voice alarm was a treasure of mine. If you didn't flip the switch, the volume would get gradually louder and louder before switching to an intense buzzer sound. I wanted to start my morning waking up with Seiretan, which meant I always tried to flip the switch before the buzzer sounded. I'd only ever failed twice. Waking up with Seiretan always put me in a great mood. Well, no, actually playing games all night and sleeping on the hard sofa made me feel like crap. But having Seiretan wake me up did make a little bit of the pain go away. Today was a school day. I'd missed a full day last week and it was starting to throw off my schedule. I was supposed to only go twice this week, but thanks to that, I'd have to go 3 times. I didn't want to go, but I had to. Any more skipping and I couldn't graduate. To be honest, even if I couldn't graduate, it wouldn't make that big of a difference for me. I just had a dream about Remy. It was a strange dream. Somehow nostalgic, somehow lonely, somehow sad. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, the other thing that happened yesterday was there was like a real short scene where he was looking at, I guess it was Remy. I wasn't sure if it was or not. It kind of looked like her, but I wasn't sure. But I think this is what he's talking about here, so I guess it was Remy. And she was just kind of like floating in the middle of the sky in like just a plain white dress and bare feet. And yeah. And somehow incredibly distant. I wondered if she was coming to school today. I'd spent a lot of time thinking about what happened 2 days ago. I'd spent so much time thinking about it that it cut into my ESO time. I didn't think much about Shogun or the delusion of the empty Shibuya. They didn't seem all that important to me. All of it was most likely just a delusion of mine. It was hard to believe that Shogun could be an old man like that, and thinking back, the idea of every single person disappearing from Shibuya just seemed silly. It was a very realistic delusion, but I found myself embarrassed by how easily I'd believe something so impossible could happen. What was more important was Remy, the girl I'd called the demon girl until just a little bit ago. In that place where it felt like a strange floating dream, she'd held me tight, and I could still remember the feeling of her body. If she hadn't done that, I might have gone crazy. Why had Remy saved me? Was it because we were friends? I didn't have any memories at all of us being classmates since our first year, or of going to see a movie with her and Misumi. But the way she treated me was the way you treat a good friend. When she'd held me tight, she looked a little like she was about to cry. That, at least, didn't seem like an act she was putting on. I'd never met a girl who'd cry over a creepy otaku like me. After seeing it, the fear and suspicion I'd felt had just blown away. In fact, I almost felt like I could fall in love with her, though I stopped myself from going that far. What I felt most was uncertainty. How should I face Remy from here on out? Was she my friend or my enemy? Was she responsible for the New Gen murders? It was an undeniable fact that she'd saved me. But it was also true that I'd seen her covered in blood at the site of the crucified murderer. Just one sec. Uh, I stopped at Shoto Park on my way to school. Ever since the incident with Yua, I'd quit my habit of eating breakfast here. The idea that Yua could be out there somewhere watching me made it impossible to enjoy my meal. And even worse, if she came to talk to me, I'd have to listen to a bunch more delusional nonsense. I didn't have time to deal with her. Yua works for Remy. That was my original idea, but it may have been wrong. That didn't mean that Yua wasn't an enemy, though. Maybe Shogun was the big boss and Yua was working for him. Whatever the case, it'd be best if I stayed away from her. But today, I'd come here for some reason anyway. I looked around carefully to make sure Yua was nowhere to be seen. Then I slowly sat down on my bench. I took a bite out of the chocolate pastry I'd bought at the convenience store and looked out at the lake. There was barely any wind and the water's surface was still and calm. Once in a while, I could see what might be a carp moving through the cloudy water. There was nobody in the park today, which was rare. It was a very quiet space. As I looked around the park, I found myself thinking about Remy again. To be honest, I'd almost decided not to go to school today just to avoid facing her again. That's why I'd come here to the park to buy some time. It felt like I'd said all kinds of awful things to her, but she'd always smiled and been kind to me. And I was sure if I went to school again, she'd come up to talk to me like she always had. She'd pretend that what we'd experienced in front of the 107 had never happened. She'd smile and treat me like a friend. Part of her constantly cheerful nature did seem a little obnoxious, but it also felt like if I stayed with her, I might start to feel cheerful too. What should I say when I meet her? I didn't think of her as a demon anymore. But it was also true that I didn't think of her as a friend. Misumi had said that she and I had been friends and classmates for over a year and a half, but I had no memories of that at all. Maybe something had broken within me after all. But could my memories of Remy disappear while everything else remained intact? Was that possible? I went into the school building, head pointed toward the ground as always. I did my usual thing of walking slowly on the side of the hallway while I headed for the stairs. My class was on the 3rd floor. It was kind of a pain to get there. I wish there was an escalator, actually. As I got up to the stairs, I saw a girl slowly staggering up them. She was dragging her right leg. Did she sprain it or something? Her tiny body was kind of wobbling as she walked. She looked like she might fall over at any minute. The other students were quickly passing by her while she went slowly up each step. From below, I could almost see her panties. Crap! If I didn't do something, I'd look like a pervert. I didn't want anybody calling me a creep. I tried to quickly walk past her when the girl tripped on the stairs and staggered forward. And then she fell hard, right on her face. Fortunately, she was standing on the landing when she'd fallen, so she didn't end up rolling down the stairs. But she was just lying there on her knees, not moving. Was this the beginning of something romantic? Not a chance. Even if it was, I didn't have the courage to talk to her. I quickly slipped past her. Sorry, but get help from Misumi or somebody else who likes 3D girls. Don't expect anything from me. But the girl still wasn't moving, and I started to get a little worried. When I got halfway up the 2nd set of stairs, I turned around to check on her. She was clinging to the railing and trying her hardest to stand up. Her knees were shaking like she was a newborn deer. There was blood on her knee. Maybe she'd scraped it.
Huh?
I'd seen her face somewhere before. Was she the one who transferred into my class last week? What was her name again? I couldn't remember. And she was crying, too. Did it hurt that badly? Sure, it was a bad fall, but it shouldn't have been enough to make her cry. Nobody else was trying to help her. She finally managed to just barely stand up, and then began to look down at her knee. She seemed to be checking how badly it was hurt. She wiped away her tears, then put down her bag and started to rummage through it. What was she trying to find, I wonder? She suddenly pulled something out of her bag and held it above her head like she'd won a great victory. In her fingers, she held a bandage. Our eyes met. She quickly flushed with embarrassment and looked down. Well, she seemed okay. She didn't need my help, at least, right? I decided to just head to my classroom and leave her there. I kept my head down and my gaze glued to my feet, as always. I arrived at my seat wordlessly. Actually, hadn't that girl said something to me on the day she transferred here? I'd forgotten all about it with what had happened with Rimi, but what had she meant?
Yo, Taku.
As always, Misumi said hello to me. Maybe he didn't have any friends besides me. That would explain why he only ever seemed to talk to me, at least.
聞いてくれよ。昨日さ、怪しいおっさん2人が校長室に入ってくのを見たんだ。 はで、俺とリミトでこっそり盗み聞きしてみたらびっくりしたぜ。その二人刑事だったんだぜ。え、
Detectives?
なんか深刻そうに全校生徒の名簿とか見ててよ。もしかしてニュージェネと関係あんのかな。
Maybe the new gen killer goes to our school? For some reason, I found myself thinking of Rimi's face.
なあ、盗み聞きしてたら見事にバレちゃったんだけどね。
My body froze. Speak of the devil. I heard Rimi's voice and my heart rate jumped. I couldn't look up. I was too nervous. It was a totally different type of nervousness than what I'd felt last week, though.
あれはお前がドア勝手に開けたせいだぞ。分かってんのか。
しょうがないでしょ。本物の刑事さんって見るの初めてだったからちょっと興奮しちゃってつい。
何をどうやったらついドアを開けるんだよ。おかげで俺らまで刑事から話を聞かれる羽目になったんだからな。
大臣ってば刑事さんに聞かれちゃまずいことでもあったの？
そういうお前はどうなんだ。
さあね。
The two of them were talking, one on each side of my desk. They were both totally ignoring me. But to be honest, I preferred it that way. If Rimi talked to me, I wasn't sure I could answer back. I was hoping that the bell would ring, but when I looked over at the clock, I saw there were 5 more minutes until first bell.
そういやタク、ここに来る途中で梢ちゃん見なかったか。
Kozue? Who's that?
ああ、そっか。どうせお前のことだから覚えてねえとは思ったけど、マジでそうだったんだな。先週転校してきた子のことだよ。折原梢ちゃん。
Sure. Oh, so her name is Kozue Orihara.
階段で
階段
見た。
お、そっか。じゃあもうすぐ来るな。
Misumi's voice was filled with eager anticipation. I hadn't seen him this alive since he'd found out that Fess was a girl in the next class over a few days ago. I'd never seen him excited about anything that didn't involve girls, actually. Come to think of it, hadn't he tried to hit on the transfer student on his first day, too? It was kind of impressive, actually, especially since he already had a girlfriend.
なあ、梢ちゃんってマジ可愛いと思わねえ？
I wasn't sure how to answer that. I gave him a vague nod. He seemed to take it as a yes.
太郎、俺一目で気に入っちまったよ。なんか守ってやりたくなるんだよな。男子みんなも同じ意見だよ。どいつも可愛いって言ってんだ。けどよ、女子の間じゃあんま評判良くねえんだよな。まだ転校してきたばっかだぜ。それなのに早くもうざいみてえな意見まで出てきてんだ。
What the fuck is wrong with the girls?
このクラスの女子って性格悪いやつ多すぎだ。
それって大臣のせいじゃないの？だいたいそのうざいって言ったのどうせ大臣の彼女でしょ？
ああ、そうだけど。
そりゃあ彼女にしてみればうざいに決まってるよ。 自分の彼氏が目の前で折原さんを口説きに行っちゃってたらさ、私でさえよく喧嘩売られるんだから、大輔君に近寄らないでって。しかも一人じゃなくて何人かから言われた。
マジ？
自覚なしか。少しは反省したら？
いやー、モテる男はつらいぜ。
これだよ、さすが女の敵。もう私フォローしてあげないからね。あ、折原さん来た。
なんか怪我してるみたいじゃね？
本当だ。どうしたんだろう。
It was from when she tripped on the staircase. Of course, I didn't tell them that. For now, I wanted to minimize the amount of time I spent talking to Rimi.
俺、ちょっと行ってくれ。
Misumi ran off toward the transfer student. Rimi was now the only one standing next to me. Please, Misumi, don't leave me. Yeah, I still haven't figured out what the fuck this is supposed to do. I honestly have no idea. Rimi didn't say a thing, but she didn't make any move to leave either. I kept staring down at my desk, so I couldn't see the look on her face. I could only see her waist, but I could tell that she was facing me. She was looking at me. What should I say? Some kind of normal greeting? But I never said hello to anybody, which meant if I started here, it would seem really unnatural. Talk about the transfer student? But I never gossiped with Rimi at all. So if I started now, it would seem really unnatural. Thank her for the other day? No. Should I apologize for being mean even after she'd saved me? Ask her what she was doing there? Or ask her if she held me close because she liked me? Or maybe ask her what she was doing at the scene of Crucified? Right there, that's what you need to fucking do, dude. I think that would like clear up a lot of shit if he just questioned her about that. No, no way. None of those were things I could just bring up in casual conversation. Damn it. What was I supposed to do? The silence was making the pressure worse and worse. I needed to say something. It would be even more awkward to just sit here in silence. I knew both these things were true, but the words just didn't come. I hated dealing with the 3D world so much. How could anybody deal with this place if just trying to talk made you feel like you were choking? I needed to get home and have Seiraton make me feel better.
ねえ、タク。
Rimi finally spoke. My body shivered. I still couldn't look up.
その、一昨日はあの後大丈夫だった？
Rimi's voice dropped low. It felt like I could feel her breath faintly tickling my ear. I looked up to see her face was close, and she was whispering to me. Her body was close to mine. her soft, warm body that had held me so close in the middle of the road. The sensation of her body filled my mind, and I couldn't think about anything else.
無事に帰れたかなって結構心配した。
I nodded forcefully several times.
そっか、よかった。もうあんな危ないことしちゃダメだぞ。
That was all she said before she turned to go away. Suddenly, I wanted to ask her. She'd said whatever I'd done was dangerous. What did she think I had been doing? From the fact that she hadn't brought them up, she might not know anything about the people disappearing from Shibuya or Shogun and his wheelchair. Did that mean they really were part of my delusion? I wanted to ask Rimi that, but I didn't feel like I could raise my head and ask any more questions. Not today, anyway. I wasn't ready. I'd ask next time I came to school. Yeah, that was it. I'd take some time and think about everything I needed to ask.
あれねえタク、折原さんがこっち来たよ。
The transfer student? Why would she be coming over here? Was she going to get mad at me for not helping her on the stairs? She didn't look like that type of girl. Maybe she wanted to talk to Rimi, not me? The transfer student stopped right next to Rimi. She wasn't saying anything. What was going on? With Rimi here, I couldn't look up. The transfer student's feet seemed to be nervously fidgeting, but she didn't say anything.
折原さん、どうしたの？
For some reason, she put a single bandage down on the edge of my desk. It was a fancy one and had a weird character, Garo Froggy, on it.
Huh?
Was she giving me this? I wasn't sure how to react to that. This transfer student, Kozue Orihara, was a bit of an odd one.
折原さん、泣かないで。
Huh? Was she crying? Why was she crying? Because I didn't say anything? But she didn't say anything either, right?
タクは怒ってるわけじゃないと思うよ。
Rimi backed me up. It felt strange. I didn't know anything about Rimi, but she knew all about me.
彼ってあんまり人と目を合わせようとしないの。引っ込み思案ってやつ。だからそんなにガチガチに緊張しなくてもね。私にも絆創膏くれるの？ありがとう。
The transfer student bowed and ran back to her own seat.
なんだかよくわかんないんだけど、タク、その絆創膏もらってあげるべきだと思う。
Why had she given it to me?
梢ちゃん、無口だよな。
I could sense Misumi coming back.
転校初日に俺が校内を案内したんだけどよ。
うわぁ、早くも手出したんだ。
まだ出してねえっつうの。んで、 まあ1時間ぐらいかけてあちこち回ったんだけど、もう俺一人で延々と喋り続けたよ。しかもすぐ泣きべそかく。
そうそう、今も急に泣き出したから何が起きたかと思ってあたふたしちゃった。
そんだけピュアなんだよ。なあタク、お前ならわかるだろ。梢ちゃんの仕草一つ一つの可愛さってのがよ。
Everything she does is really cute.
お前流に言うなら萌えってやつだ。
Well, I don't know if crying is cute, but
なんだ、クソでも我慢してんのか？
I shook my head as hard as I could.
たく、さっきからちっとも喋ってくれないんだ。
That's because you're here, Remy. I'm not ready to talk to you. I'd never really talked to a female friend before. I'd never even had a female friend.
でもさ、今折原さんと話してみてなんとなく思ったんだけど、彼女と話してるとなんだか疲れちゃいそうかもなんて。
女子ってのはマジで同性に対して容赦ねえな。ま、梢ちゃんは俺が守るからいいけどな。
Oh, Lord, I don't trust this dude for nothing.
ほんの数十秒前に大地も相手するの疲れたって言ってなかった？
うっせ。梢ちゃんはタクと同じ匂いがするぜ。ほっとけねえって感じ？
それはわかるかも。
Well, hold on one sec. Okay. The sound of the bell told me that all my classes for the day were finished. As soon as I'd heard it, I packed up all my stuff and headed out the door. I wanted to get the heck out of there as soon as possible, partially because of the awkward distance between me and Remy. But also, I had something to pick up at Mangadarake today. In the end, I was never able to say a word to Remy. I had several chances to talk to her, but I kept silent the whole day, just like I'd done in the morning. Maybe that was mean. Maybe I just made it even harder to talk to her next time. It felt like maybe I was only making things worse.
あ、お兄。
I heard an annoying girl calling out to me as I left the school building. Nanami ran up to me with a trash can in her arms. She seemed to be in the middle of taking out the garbage. Why'd she have to bother me then? I tried to ignore her and leave, but as always, she refused to let me go. Nanami yanked on the hem of my blazer.
妹見て逃げるなって何度言えばわかるの？
なんだよ。
なんだよじゃないよ。お兄が逃げるからナナもつい追いかけちゃうんじゃん。
Don't run after me if you don't even have anything to talk about.
相変わらず家に電話かけてこないし、まあナナはもう諦めたけど、どうせお兄が真面目に連絡入れてくるとは思えないもんね。
Good, you understand. That's the kind of intellect I want to see in my little sister. Not that I need a 3D little sister at all.
というわけでこれからも定期的にナナがお兄の部屋に様子見に行くから感謝してよね。
Crap. I should have known that was how this was going to end up. Won't somebody rid me of this obnoxious little sister? No, if that was... Wait. If that was impossible, I at least wanted to get back at her a little. I'd wanted to get back at her for a long time, actually. Wait. I had an idea. I had a plan that I'd been working on for a while. This was my chance to put it into practice. Maybe it would give me a little bit of vengeance. I looked around to make sure no one was watching, and then beckoned Nanami to follow me into the yard.
何？
ちょっと来てくれ。
なんで？なんかあるの？
Man, she was annoying. Can you just shut up and follow me?
ナナミに大事な頼みがある。
え？頼み？お兄が？なのに？
Her eyes were wide with shock.
珍しいじゃん。お兄が頼み事なんて。
とにかく黙ってついてこいって。
あ、ちょっと待ってよ。
There weren't that many people in the yard. At lunchtime, it was filled with students eating lunch. Nobody but the gardening club would bother coming here after school, though.
で、頼みって？
She put her trash can down and looked at me with a smile.
あ、条件はマクで汚りね。その条件飲んでくれるんなら、本当は嫌だけど、お兄の頼み聞いてあげる。
Grr, she was so annoying. I didn't think she'd want me to pay a price for it. Especially since I'd already bought her MacDs. Well, whatever.
わかった。おごる。
え、本当？今日のお兄いつもと違うね。
I was actually lying, though. Sorry for being a liar, lol. Sorry, lol. To provoke or annoy someone. I handed Nanami my cell phone. Then I asked her to call the number 03X733X991, the one that had prank called me.
着歴の番号にかける？相手は誰？
ネットの知り合い。
She looked at me suspiciously, so I came up with the most plausible sounding lie I could.
どうしてナナがかけるの？
かければわかる。
なんか企んでない？
Jeez, would you shut up? Just shut up and do what I tell you. And if you can't do that, then leave. I don't need you for anything.
じゃあもうお前には頼まない。
I tried to take the phone back, but Nanami pulled her hand away from me.
あ、わかったってかけるよ。かければいいんでしょ？ほんとわがままなお兄だな。
You don't get to talk. I held back my anger and gulped as I waited for her to call the number. Nanami innocently put the phone up to her ear and waited for someone to answer. I could see the yellow bangle on her wrist as she held up the phone. That was the one I gave her or more precisely, that she'd taken from my room. She was wearing it to school? Did she like it that much? That cheap bangle I got for free? Nanami really did have terrible fashion sense. Maybe I was one to talk, though. No, that wasn't important right now. Who was going to answer the phone? Some scary DQN guy? I hoped it was just a prank and had nothing to do with Shogun or Yua.
あ、もしもし。
Someone seemed to have picked up. Nanami had spoken into the receiver, but she soon furrowed her brow. Then she offered the phone back to me.
おに
なんだ
なんだじゃないよ。現在使われてませんって言ってるよ。
Oh.
え
I took the phone and put it to my ear, and what I heard was...
おかけになった電話番号は現在使われておりません。番号をご確認の上、もう一度おかけ直しください。
It was true. Maybe it really was just a prank then. Maybe whoever was behind it would just call a bunch of random numbers and prank them before ditching the phone and number they were using? That was a lot of work for a prank. Well, it wasn't my problem. Now that I knew the mysterious call was just a prank, I felt much safer.
ねえ、一体何なの？
もうお前用なし。
I left Nanami behind and started to walk, but Nanami followed after me.
どういうことか説明してよ。
Shut up.
お前掃除中だろ。ゴミ箱置きっぱなしだぞ。
あ、でも説明聞いてないもん。
僕は帰る。
Nanami grabbed me, but I ignored her and started to quickly walk toward the school gate.
おに、じゃあマクディおごる約束だからね。ちゃんと覚えといてよ。
知るか。
ちょっと嘘ついたの？
まあな。
Nanami came to a stop, pouting. But I kept walking.
おにのバカ！
She screamed loud enough for everyone to hear. I looked back, annoyed, and she was glaring at me, shoulders heaving with rage.
おになんて携帯の電磁波の影響で脳みそスカスカにされて死んじゃえ！
Crap. Thanks to Nanami's yelling, I was starting to attract attention. I had to go unnoticed at school. What an obnoxious little sister. I headed for the gate at a jog, ignoring her. The best move at a time like this was to run.
バカ！
I could hear her screaming even outside the gate. There was an artist I liked called Higashi Matasema. Higashi Matasema was super famous, and his circle had huge lines at every event they attended. His new Blood Tune Dojin, which had come out in the summer, had sold out in an instant. I'd wanted to go, but those events were always way too crowded for me. I'd reluctantly given up. I thought that I could just buy it from Manga Darake, but I'd been naive. They'd sold some copies there, but they were gone in minutes. The things were going for tens of thousands of yen above retail online, too. Freaking net resellers. I hope they'd all just die. Reseller, someone who buys difficult to find merchandise and then resells it for a high price. Yeah. I thought I'd have to give up entirely, but on Atchan yesterday, I'd happened to see a post saying that Manga Darake had gotten a new shipment in. That's why I'd come here right after school.
神様、奇跡を起こしたまえ。
I said a silent prayer in front of the shop and headed inside. I searched the doujinshi corner as thoroughly as I could. I went back and forth again and again, searching and searching. But I couldn't find it. Was it sold out already? I glanced quickly at the register. The cashier was a girl. She wasn't very cute, but she looked friendly. Asking a cashier if they had something in stock was an extremely high-level technique, and one I'd never used in my life. What? What is this dude talking about? The reason was simple. I didn't have the courage. Well, I mean, I guess maybe he's embarrassed. He doesn't want girls to know that he reads those type of doujins, maybe. I don't know. Especially since Higashi Matasema's new doujin was called Seiroton's Extreme Couscous. Not a chance. Excuse me, do you have any copies of Seiroton's Extreme Couscous? If I asked a female cashier that, I'd look like a pervert. Yeah, not happening. In the end, I gave up and left.
帰るか。
Or maybe I should head to At Cafe. As I walked along, uncertain of what to do, I caught a glimpse of a certain sword I recognized in the corner of my eye. Its distinctive shape, like it was split in two at the edges, was the same that Girl B, that is, Senna, had been holding. I could see its tip peeking above the crowds of people walking down Center Street. It was coming toward me, so I quickly ran into a nearby arcade. I hid in the shadows and watched as Senna walked by. She was heading to the station at a fast pace, the same scary look on her face that she always had. It didn't seem like she'd noticed me. That said, after experiencing for myself how embarrassing it was to carry a D-sword down the street, it was hard not to be impressed by her. Wasn't she embarrassed at all while carrying that? The cops had to have stopped her at least once, right? I was sure of it. Senna was getting further and further away from me. Where could you get a cool D-sword like the one she has? The one I'd bought didn't glow and didn't look that cool. Honestly, I was pretty dissatisfied with it. Compared to mine, Senna's was incredibly cool. I'd bought the D-Sword as a good luck charm mostly. I'd been scared to death and was ready to cling to anything that might offer salvation. After what had happened with Remy, I felt a little better, but the situation hadn't really changed. Shogun, Yua, I still had a lot of enemies out there. That's why I wanted a stronger looking D-Sword. Of course, part of it was just that I was an otaku and we liked to collect things. As if drawn by Senna's D-Sword, I found myself heading out into Scramble Crossing. I bit my lip. Crap, I hadn't wanted to come near the station. I didn't even want to go to Center Street or to school. I'd only done it reluctantly because I had to. Being surrounded by people I didn't know made me feel like I had nowhere to run. It felt hard to breathe. As usual, the place was packed. I started to feel sicker and sicker. For a while, I just stared at the ground, trying not to throw up. When I looked up again, the D-Sword was gone. I thought I'd seen her walking over to the Hachiko statue. The crosswalk lights on Scramble Crossing had just turned green. Many people began to walk in many different directions. The area inside the crossing was pure chaos. It shocked me that so many people could each be going in their own directions without slamming into each other. Looking at it, I realized how impossible my delusion of an empty Scramble Crossing the other day was. There probably wasn't a single second in a year when this place was empty. Why was I chasing after Senna anyway? I couldn't even ask a cashier at Manga Darake if they had a dojin in stock. How was I supposed to be able to talk to that scary Senna girl? She might even be an enemy. If I walked right up to her without any defenses up, there's no telling what she would do to me. I was being crazy. I should just go home. But just when I turned to go, I noticed a white chain lying on the road. And while I couldn't be sure, because the other pedestrians were blocking my view, it looked like it led all the way to the other side of Scramble Crossing. What was that about? It was an awfully long chain. Was it for some kind of construction thing? But it didn't look like anybody was doing any kind of construction. It was hard to believe somebody would just leave this chain here. Maybe it was for a TV or movie shoot? No, they wouldn't do a shoot with all these people around. Had somebody just left it here then? A huge chain like this? It would be a hassle just to bring it here. Either way, it was in the way of the pedestrians and cars. Confused, I looked at the people around me to see how they reacted. It looked like you could easily trip over the thing, but nobody was paying it any attention. I rubbed my eyes and stared at it again, wondering if I'd just hallucinated it, but the chain was still there. The Molar Liar illusion. Okay, I gotta look this shit up. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just that thing that where they draw the arrows and it's supposed to make it look like one is longer than the other, but they're actually just the same length. Says it was invented in 1889. Anyway, it's hypothesized that the cause of these hallucination gap between what the brain predicts should be there and what information. Hmm. Interesting. It was creepy, so I didn't have the courage to touch it, though. It wasn't a cheap plastic thing. It was made out of tough-looking metal. How long had it been here? Normally, I would think it was a trap. I'd assume something terrible was waiting for me at the other end of it and run away in fear. But for some reason, I couldn't stop thinking about where it might lead. A kind of oppressive force was taking over my mind and telling me I needed to follow it. I stumbled into several people as I went, but I managed to make it to the other side of the crossing before the light turned red. The chain led to an old train car painted dark green that was sitting next to the Hachiko statue. The train car's wheels had been removed, so it was more like a monument than something you could actually use. This car was open to anybody who wanted to go inside, if I remembered right. The chain led through the car's open door and inside. There were a lot of people waiting around Hachiko, but nobody was paying it any attention. They didn't even seem to notice it was there. It didn't seem like there was anybody inside the train car either. I gulped and looked inside. Noise. Alright, I'll be right back in a minute. I'm gonna get some water. All right. It was only then that I realized it was a trap. I didn't understand why it had taken me this long to notice. The train car had seemed empty, but there was actually a single person inside. Senna Aoi was sitting on one of the red seats, her legs crossed. Her sharp gaze was locked firmly onto me. For some reason, she had a popsicle in her hand. That shade of blue. It was Garugari-kun, wasn't it? No, Garugari-kun wasn't important right now. The strange thing was, I didn't see her huge D-sword anywhere. It was so big. Where could she have hidden it? Instead of the sword, the white chain was coiled up at her feet. I realized that when we'd last met, she said something about being at the train car. This must have been what she meant. So she'd been the one to put the chain out there. Had she actually walked around carrying that huge thing? It had to weigh at least 10 kilograms, and it was probably over 50 meters long. There was something about this girl that was just beyond my understanding. She wasn't normal. Could she be Shogun? I got scared and tried to run. But then her sharp gaze came flying at me.
入れ。
Suddenly, I stopped. There was a note of command in her voice. It was like this train car was her personal possession. Of course, I didn't have any intention of going inside. Wait, what? I thought he was already inside. Like, how would he have seen her in there if he didn't go inside? Whatever. I didn't know who this girl was, and I could barely talk to 3D girls anyway. I didn't want to get involved.
入れと言っている。
Senna's voice was commanding and brooked no dissent. She wasn't moving. Hello, Askew. How are you doing? Having a good evening, or I don't know where you are, so morning, afternoon, whatever. If I made the slightest move to run, there was no telling what she'd do. She might be a really high-level DQN. The kind who wouldn't think twice about getting violent with a man. I am currently reading a visual novel called Chaos Head Noah. I was scared, but if I was obedient, it just might make things even worse. I'd had to deal with DQNs a few times in my life. The best thing to do was always to run. Whether you did what they said or not, something awful always ended up happening to you. So the best thing to do was to run. I needed to find a way to get out of here. So are you familiar with visual novels? Askew? Well, he's not gonna kick her, I can tell you that. Suddenly, something pushed me forward. I was caught off guard and lost my balance, falling forward like an idiot into the train. Okay, cool. Shocked, I turned toward the entrance to see who'd pushed me. There were a lot of people outside, but I couldn't tell which one of them had done it. Oh yeah, Doki Doki Literature Club. Yeah, I haven't played that one myself, largely because, I mean, with how popular it was, it had already been spoiled not long after I even found out what it was, so maybe they'd already run away. Why did they push me, though? Who'd do something so mean? I'd hit my knee when I'd fallen, and it hurt a little. So have you ever heard of Chaos Head? Or, what's the other one? Chaos Child? That's the other one. I slowly staggered to my feet, being careful not to look Senna in the eye. Never heard of it? Okay. Have you ever heard of Steins Gate? Suddenly, I realized something. The coiled chain that had been at Senna's feet just a moment ago was now completely gone. She must have moved it somewhere, but I hadn't heard any sound, and she'd been sitting in her seat the whole time. Now, I never heard of Steins Gate? Okay, well. Steins Gate is a pretty popular visual novel that had an anime adaptation. But anyway, Chaos Head is in like the same, like, I don't know what you call it. It's the same series of visual novels, the same universe, I guess. I mean, it's a totally separate story from Steins Gate, but yeah, there's a... Oh, you don't watch anime? Okay. Alrighty. Pokemon, okay. And even if she had moved it, where had she moved it to? I couldn't see the chain anywhere in the car. Where was the error? Okay, so I think where this visual novel is leading to is that shit can literally just like disappear and just appear and disappear into and out of existence. Things can just like manifest themselves and then I don't know if demanifest is a word, but yeah. Ah, man. Everyone is gonna die at the end. Well, yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I don't know, I doubt the main character is gonna die, but there could be, there could be a lot of deaths before this thing is over with. Senna asked me another strange question, completely ignoring my confusion.
だから私をつけてきたんじゃないのか。
I shook my head quickly in confusion, and her expression only grew sterner. Finally, she looked away from me, sighing a little and nibbling on her popsicle. When she released me from her terrible gaze, I almost collapsed. So I'm thinking that, like, Takumi is the only person who can, like, see her. Like, everybody else doesn't even, like, see her. Almost like that Seishun, whatever, that Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai anime. Yeah, kind of like that. I wanted to sit on a seat, but she'd probably say something. I gave up on the idea.
お前が私をつけてきているのには気づいていた。私が作ったエラーが見えていただろう。
Yeah, no, that anime. Yeah, it came out a few years ago. It was pretty popular at the time. I don't know. This is also kind of giving me Matrix vibes too.
だからエラーって何？
鎖だ。白い鎖。
If that was what she meant, then yes, I'd seen it. I'd followed that strange white chain all the way here.
でもどこにもない。消えたよ。
消した。私の妄想だからな。
I'd never seen the mate. Yeah. Delusion? What was she talking about? Sounds like this girl was made for Takumi. Since they both have delusions, apparently.
じゃあケンは？
お前も持っているだろう。
Huh? She thought I had one? Of course I didn't. This conversation wasn't making any sense.
それより、お前は何者なんだ？見えているみたいだけど。
は？
Yeah. Here we go. This is gonna be like the huge info dump. Senna glanced at me before jerking her head in the direction of the window.
この窓の外に何が見える？
Outside the window? People. I saw lots of people. There were even more than there'd been a second ago. Just looking at them made my head hurt. People with their heads down playing with their cell phones. People laughing as they talked on the phone. People just standing and watching other people go by. Most of the people I could see from where I was standing seemed to be waiting for someone else. Actually, how come none of these people actually tried to come inside the train?
完璧な世界がそこにあると思うか？あるはずがない。エラーは確かに存在する。
Yeah, this is totally the Matrix. He's like inside the Matrix right now, and he's about to be red pilled.
すべてのものは人も含めて電気仕掛けだからな。
Okay, yeah. Bro, everything she says is sounding like the Matrix. Was this her weird personal fan fiction? It's DDLC. I mean, I had similar fantasies all the time. I wasn't going to tell her not to have them. All the novels, all the movies, all the anime in the world came from goofy fantasies. So why were the fantasies of a novelist or a director okay, while the ones amateurs like me came up with were mocked? And what's more, think about it. All the great people of history had goofy, childish fantasies. The Wright brothers honestly believed they could fly over 100 years ago. Napoleon actually told people the word impossible is not in my dictionary. You shouldn't make fun of somebody for having fantasies. All of history's greats had fantasies. The problem was, this girl had suddenly started sharing hers with me.
何を見ているかじゃない。何を見せられているかだ。人は体の外からの情報を五感によって得ているけど、その受け取る情報のおよそ 80% は視覚から入ってくるんだ。そして視覚から得られた映像はパルス信号となって視神経を通り脳に送られる。
It was kind of like a phone, I thought. A phone took somebody's voice and turned it into an electrical signal, and then sent that information to someone else far away.
電話か。似ていると言えなくもない。
She read my mind. No, that was impossible. Had I spoken aloud without realizing it again?
VR 技術を知っているか。
Virtual reality? Of course, this time I was careful not to say it aloud.
ビジュアルリビルディング。
Visual rebuilding. Dude, if you say VR, everyone's gonna think virtual reality. Huh? I was wrong. I've never heard of that.
アメリカの精神生理学分野で研究が行われている技術だ。生まれながらに目が不自由な人でも目の前にある景色がちゃんと見えるようにビデオカメラのような映像機器を介してな。どうやってという顔をしているな。だが仕組みとしては単純な話だ。ビデオカメラが映した映像も脳を流れる神経パルスもどちらも突き詰めれば電気による信号なんだぞ。
Nerve impulse. Signals allow for rapid transfer of information. Yeah.
要は神経パルスにコンバートできる技術さえあればいい。すでに実際にテストは成功している。ある研究チームが特許を取得済みだ。
A patent? Was that true? It felt like a really well thought out delusion, but what kind of delusion includes stuff about patents?
その特許から読み取れることがある。
Senna turned her gaze away from the window and toward me. He'd kick her in the shin. She crossed her legs again, slowly.
ある意図的な情報を神経パルスへコンバートすることが可能なら、人の五感すべて、さらには人の意志そのものもコントロールできるんじゃないか。
The train was right in front of Shibuya Station, but it was strangely quiet. It felt like the sound was being shut out. Of course, it was just my imagination. But I remembered the empty Shibuya I'd seen days ago and couldn't take my eyes off the crowd outside.
さっき言ったように、人は電気仕掛けだ。脳だけじゃなく、全身に張り巡らされている神経にも電気が通っている。つまり、肉体的な動きまでも操れるということになるんだ。理論的にはな。
This girl. I was in shock. Oh, hey, Zane. I didn't think you were gonna show up tonight. She was more delusional than even you or me. What she said sounded logical on the surface, kind of, but it was clearly just a fantasy. How's it going, Zane? Sleep has caught up to me. What is that supposed to mean? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, Askew. Please subscribe and like the video and all that stuff if you want to see more of this visual novel in the future. Work was hell? Really? Well, I'm actually, okay. So I'm actually going on vacation tomorrow, so I'm not going to be streaming for a few days after tonight, but anyway, by the way, Zane, I wanted to show you, so I had meant to show you this a couple days ago when you were here, but I freaking forgot, so let me go ahead and do it now while I'm thinking of it. So I gotta pull this shit up. So hold on one sec. Wait. Oh yeah, here we go. So check this out. Yeah. Oh. Wait, seriously? That can't be right. Well, anyway. So this is a score that I got on Holo No Suika off stream. I wasn't streaming when I got this, but I got 8,441 points. And look, see down here in the bottom right corner? I actually got a crony! Yes, sir. So you know what that means? Hold on, let me show you real quick. If I can pull it up here. That means if you look at the Hololive members leaderboard, here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Remember I was talking about at least let me beat Mori Calliope? Well, guess what? I beat her by less than 100 points. That's funny. And okay, so I got 8,441, so that puts me 2 points ahead of Kayla here. So I would be 13th place on this leaderboard. So there you go. I didn't notice Sora's in 6th place. Sora got 9,300. Damn. Okay, just wanted to show that real quick. We'll go back to the game now.
事実、特許を取得した研究チームもその方向へと研究内容をシフトしている。あまりに危険すぎる内容だったからアメリカ大統領が歯止めをかけようとして行政命令を出したくらいだ。
Yeah, I watched some of Ina's stream today, believe it or not. And she was playing Mario Kart, which typically she's shown herself in like the Mario Kart tournaments to be like a really good Mario Kart player, but apparently she hadn't played it in a long time, so she was like rusty. So she was not doing too hot against the fans. But anyway, I watch Ina. Well, if she's the only one streaming, yeah, I'll watch her. I mean, I don't watch her a whole lot, but yeah, I just happened to watch her today because she was streaming at a convenient time for me to watch, so. How much of what she was saying was actually true?
いかなる機関であろうと政府との事前合意なしに人体の機密の研究を行うことを禁じる。それを支援することも同様であるとな。
Senna looked down. She tightly clenched her fists as they rested in her lap.
だが世の中は腐った連中ばかりだ。倫理を無視して自分の利益のためだけに他者を平気で犠牲にするような連中がな。ヘドが出る。
There's that phrase, makes me want to throw up. Dude, I'm telling you, this girl right here, she's the one for Takumi, dude. Because she has delusions just like him and all that shit. So, it's like they were made for each other. She put the last of the melting Garugari-kun popsicle into her mouth, then stood up. Bro, why the fuck is it called a Garugari-kun popsicle? I have no idea. I stepped back, only to find my back against the wall.
無知は罪だ。知らない方が幸せなこともあるという人間もいるが、そんなのはただの甘えだ。世界を疑え、仕組みを知れ。この世界は完璧じゃない。
She was walking toward me. I thought she might punch me and tried to shield myself with my arms, but Senna just walked straight past me.
お前の見ている景色は本物か？
Whose eyes are those? Hello, Soraru? How are you doing? Is what you're seeing truly real? Oh, I'm sorry, she said that. I don't need to read that. Ignore me. She whispered as she passed me, without so much as a glance my way. Is that the girl that had the sword? Yes, it is. And then she left the train. I watched Senna walk away through the train car's window, standing there in shock. She disappeared into the crowd without turning around once. In the end, I never did figure out what she was trying to say. The one thing I could tell was that she really hated the world. A completely typical teenager, I guess. From my perspective, having to listen to all that crazy stuff was just a nuisance. The way she spoke made it sound like she was a teacher giving a lecture. In 2D, the way she talked might be kind of moe, but in the real world it just made her seem like a DQN. But I was glad she didn't attack me. For some reason, she had this air about her like she might slap someone at any time, for any reason. I felt like I needed to rest for a moment, so I sat down in the seat where Senna had been sitting a moment ago. Didn't expect to see a stream on something like Chaos Head. Well, I like to read. I mean, Chaos Head isn't even really an obscure visual novel. I mean, I think it's pretty decently popular. But yeah, I like to read through different visual novels on my streams. So in fact, I just finished Majikoi, um, just like what, a couple weeks ago or something. A second later, a DQN-looking couple came inside. Then soon after them, 3 DQN-looking girls came in. Then an old man and a young salaryman in a suit. Before long at all, the car was jammed tight with people. Nobody had tried to come in when Senna was here, so why had it suddenly changed? The voices of the girls and DQN couple were annoying me. I whispered "die" several times to myself silently before leaving. Okay. Alright, I'll be right back. Just gonna take a real quick break. Alrighty. I'm back. So, Soraru, I'm guessing this means you have uh, played through Chaos Head already? Nightheart. So yeah, this weird chick was hassling me. Grim. You have angered me. Nightheart. Emoji. Grim. Listen, Nightheart. Grim. You keep saying you're not into 3D chicks, Grim, but you seem to be having a whole lot of fun with them. Grim. You said one broke inside your house the other day. Grim. That's totally out of an H game. Angry emoji. Grim. You've got some luck lately, asshole. Nightheart. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. Nightheart. Yes, I'll admit I've had more chances to talk to cute girls. Nightheart. But... Nightheart. They're all crazy. Dude, do they actually have to explain to us what crazy means? Like, come on. You went through all the Oh, cool. So you've done them all, huh? Yeah, I've been kind of wanting to go through all of them since I liked Steins Gate so much. See, I've done Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. Those are the only ones that I've done so far. So I decided I would just start at the kind of the beginning and do the first one, which is Chaos Head, and then I don't know, maybe later I'll do robotics notes or whatever. That's cool. So Chaos Head's your favorite, huh? That's interesting. Steins Gate's going to be hard to beat for me because I really like Steins Gate is like probably top 3 visual novels I've ever read, so yeah. I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to pick a like absolute favorite one cuz I've read quite a few like really good ones, but anyway. Nightheart, let's see how you'd react if they tried their weird fantasy shit on you. Nightheart, it's seriously scary, man. Kelly didn't. Dude. Well, I don't know. Oh, I also saw, I saw Callie and Kiara's new music video too. That was actually pretty cool. I liked the music video. Grim, LOL, sorry. Nightheart, saw good. Even after I made it home, I couldn't get Senna's words out of my mind. Of course, I didn't think it was real, but that part about the patents and the executive order, I could find if I decided to look it up. I went to Grimm for help, and we started searching the internet. Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Yeah, you should watch it. It's pretty cool. It's on Callie's channel, although I think Kiara said it was actually on her channel too, which doesn't make sense. How can a video be on 2 different people's channels? I don't know. Grim knew somebody who lived in the US, so we got their help too. Not that I expected to find anything. These days, nobody would believe anything without a source. Grim. Oh, I got word from Shiho. Shiho was Grimm's net buddy. They lived in the US and spoke fluent English, supposedly. Nightheart, it was BS, right? Nightheart, that crazy bitch. Nightheart, she probably thought she could fool me because I didn't speak English. Wait, so she was speaking English? Kiara's new MV? Oh, no, I haven't watched it. Yeah, the one for trying to remember the name of the song. I can't remember. It's off her recent album, isn't it? The one she released like a few months ago or something. Committee of Zero patch. Why does that sound familiar? Is that... Oh, wait. Okay, fan-made translation patch. Well, yeah, I read somebody that said, like, the fan-made patch was, like, a better translation, but honestly, I mean, I'm reading this translation, and I don't really see any problem with it. To be honest, this translation's better than a lot of English translated visual novels I've read before, so I mean, this one seems fine to me. Nightheart, don't underestimate the internet.
Eh?
Nightheart, glad that's settled. Grim, they found it, they said. Huh? They found it, they said? Found what? Grim, they're translating it for us. Grim, I'll up it for you.
もしかして
Nightheart, this
マジなのか
sorry. This another troll? Grim. You don't trust me, huh? LOL. Grim. Well, I guess I can understand why, given all the shit I pull, LOL. Grim. Want me to bring Shiho here, then? Grim had lied to me about all kinds of stuff. Usually when he did something like this, he'd make me look at some disgusting mental browser crash link. But he even had a source and was saying he'd invite Shiho. Nightheart, if this is a troll, I'm banning you from the guild. Grim, okay. Grim, this time you can trust me. He seemed really confident. Maybe this time I could trust him.
くそ僕はなんてお人よしなんだ
My heart pounded as I clicked on the link, narrowing my eyes so that I wouldn't be able to see it clearly at first.
なんだこれ
Sigmoid function. It was a paper written in English with a strange diagram at the bottom. There was something in the diagram that looked like a human face. Let's see if I can actually read this shit. It's blurry, but I might be able to. I thought. I don't know what that is. Was a. Something similar with a. No, it's just a little bit too blurry. I can't really make it out. I mean, I can make out some of the words, but some of them I can't, so... Like this says, something, a video signal of the something which appeared in the video camera into an... Something about chemical signal... And I don't know what that says there. Anyway. It said United States patent. Patent. So it was true. In other words, this was...
アメリカの特許
VR 技術を知っているか？すでに実際にテストは成功している。ある研究チームが特許を取得済みだ。
It was real. I opened one of the 2 text files that were attached with it. It was a Japanese translation of an article talking about the patent. The Victor Condria University Psychophysiology Lab is currently working on a revolutionary technology called visual rebuilding. I think this Victor Condria University was mentioned in Steins Gate 2, if I remember correctly. The technology is intended for the field of therapeutics and is being eagerly followed by blind people all over the world. This revolutionary invention would allow the blind to see with the aid of a visual device such as a camera. To explain in basic terms how it works, the electronic signals generated by the video camera are transformed into nerve impulses, the one form of electrical signal that the brain can read. These signals are transmitted to the optic nerves and through them to the brain. Tests have been successful and a patent was issued.
特許本当に認められてる
What Senna had been saying wasn't just some silly fantasy then? I gulped and clicked on the other file. Official order issued by the White House, March 27, 1997. Strengthening protections of research into the secrets of the human body. No organization may do any research into the secrets of the human body without informed consent, or support any other organization that conducts such research. Informed consent is to consent to any kind of contract with full knowledge of it. This order will go into effect on March 27, 1998, or earlier if appropriate legislation passes. William J. Clinton, President of the United States. Well, yeah, he was indeed the president back then. An executive order from the President of the United States. It was like something you'd see in the backstory for a movie, but it was real. I clicked on the link too, just to be sure. I could read English, even if I couldn't speak it. I was a lot smarter than the DQNs that went to school every day, after all. The actual text was more or less the same as the translation I'd been given. That one person that utterly annoys you at work. Oh, I'm sorry. Really? Man, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, I had one person that was kind of like that. I mean, I don't know, it was kind of a long time ago now, but yeah, I mean, she and I don't really interact that much anymore, but I mean, we're pretty much on good terms now, so it's nothing really. I don't know. She tried to take kind of almost like a supervisor type role over me when I started working there at first, and I just didn't like. I just don't think makes a very good kind of. I don't think she's very good in that type of role. One last week. Senna's words echoed in my mind.
ある意図的な情報を神経パルスへコンバートすることが可能なら、人の五感すべて、さらには人の意志そのものもコントロールできるんじゃないか。
This whole thing was getting kind of complicated, but knowing what Senna said, and that there was a source online to back it up, made my skin crawl. It felt like there was some kind of terrible secret involved with all this. And what worried me more than anything was the fact that Senna had chosen to tell me this. Did it have something to do with me? The idea of controlling another person's will seemed to, at least. I still hadn't ruled out the possibility that I was sleepwalking. Supposedly, the day the third New Gen incident, Crucified, happened, I'd been using the account Shogun to chat at cafe. And I didn't remember Rimi at all either. I'd supposedly spent over a year with her as a classmate and even gone to hang out a few times, but I didn't remember her at all. Maybe I'd done all that while someone was controlling me. After all, there was no way a guy like me who could barely talk to 3D girls could be friends with a cute girl like Rimi. No, I was overthinking it. The thing with the chat, at least, was just a delusion of Yua's. Shogun was someone else and just trying to set me up. I wasn't sure if he was actually the old man in the wheelchair I'd seen in front of the 107 building, but it didn't matter. It was even possible that Senna was working with Shogun too. Maybe she was trying to trick me. I couldn't believe what she was saying. I didn't know anything about her, and I couldn't trust her. Senna was no different than Yua. That's what I should be thinking, right, Seiretan? Alright, I think I'm gonna stop here for tonight. So like I said, I'm gonna be going on kind of brief vacation starting tomorrow. So I'm not gonna stream tomorrow, and let's see, I'm not gonna stream through next Sunday. Yeah, I think I should probably be able to stream Monday. So next Monday I'll start streaming again. But yeah, the next I guess 3 days I'm not gonna be able to stream, so yeah, I guess I'll see you in 4 days, next Monday. And have a good night, and a good weekend. And yeah. See ya. I'm out. Yeah, I'm going to actually I'm going back to the city that I lived in while I was at college. So yeah. Yep. Yeah, hopefully it'll be good trip. It's kind of a family trip. I'm going with my dad, so yeah. Dad, my brother too. So all right. I'll see y'all in a few days. Bye bye.